Happy Friday the 13th. Why am I saying that? Does anyone else feel that way? I felt called to do two things this week in terms of offerings and sharings. And those are, one, a high heart chakra activation, healing, which I'll get into in a bit. And secondly, to kind of do something around the energy of today, which is Friday the 13th. So you might have seen I shared a link on my Facebook last night, and it was about how, and I just learned this myself a couple of months ago, that Friday the 13th actually has kind of like a feminine, a goddess energy to it, because there are 13 lunar months in the year, and women's menstrual cycles follow the moon, so there are 13 of those, and Friday is Venus Day, so it's kind of like an auspicious day. How did it get associated with like scary things and bad omens? I'll give you my 2 cents, that's for sure. So energy can be good or bad. Like energy is neutral, right? And it's our interpretation of things and how we have free will, and how we take our free will and choose to work with those energies is sort of like what determines the quality of outcomes. Good and bad is subjective in most instances. Anyways, so my opinion about how it came to have these like weird, scary horror movie kind of connotations is that people, the powers that were, didn't want people to be able to tap into the really high vibration, all the things that the feminine is known for, because as I just explained, this is a day where it's sort of like you could think of it as feminine energy is heightened because of those reasons. And like, you know, God forbid, we should allow women to come into their power or realize how powerful they are. So anyways, so instead of allowing people to see what they could harness and heal with the power of those days, the powers that were like, oh, I know, let's just like turn it completely on its head and only show people the bad things. But the truth is, like I said, the spiritual realm is full of energies that we can work with, and it's neutral, you know, it's up to us. So I'd like to take the energies of today to convey some high heart healing. So that's what we're going to get into. So I was called to do a tapping exercise, which is kind of funny because I've done tapping a little bit before, not too much. And of course, as always, like, do your own research on things. I'm just here to offer you the information, take it or leave it. If it doesn't resonate with you, no pressure. And I'm not here to tell you that it's something that you need. It's an offering that I am doing. And I would love to hear your feedback if it does resonate with you, and if you take it up, how it went. So anyways, tapping. Tapping is something, it's called EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique. And what you do is you tap your fingers on specific points, meridian points, which are like lines of energy that flow through our body. And what this is meant to do is to help release excess energy. And excess energy can be understood as like emotions that are kind of trapped in our body, and we need to release them so that we can come back down to a place of calm, a place where we are ready to learn and change and grow. We should not be walking around with all of this excess energy that has nowhere to go in our energy body. Not cool. So that's tapping. It has been shown. I found a really comprehensive systematic review of meta-analyses that seem to point quite favorably to the use of EFT for anxiety and PTSD and things like that. I can post it in the notes for this video if you'd like to learn more. Again, you know, it's like I wrote all these notes about this, and then I decided not to do it. It didn't make it into my final copy of my notes, but I'm going to jump into it right now anyways. So I started a master's in cell biology that I never finished. I have a Bachelor of Science in neuroscience. I thought I was supposed to be a doctor. I used to live in a very scientific world, and I have a lot of respect for the scientific method. However, there was a point in halfway through this master's that I never finished where I was like, wait a second, like this, like everything in the world, like it's a little bit of a joke to me. Is that mean? I don't mean to say that to like insult people who are committed to it. Thank you for doing that work because it is necessary. It's just not for me. And the reason that I raise this topic is because I just want to say we should be taking everything with a grain of salt, regardless of who says what's behind it. To me, at the end of the day, the question I always ask myself is, how does this resonate with me? You know, I'm the one in charge of my own life at the end of the day. And whether somebody says it's good or not for me doesn't hold much clout in my decisions if that doesn't align with what my heart tells me. All that to say, though, is that like there is a lot of programming and false beliefs that we have been spoon-fed that can put us kind of into a state of confusion, you know, that's kind of like, well, how do I know what's best for me? TV always tells me what's best for me. I can't think for myself, you know. Or like for me with this example that I just gave, you know, like it took a lot of reflection, and it was like a very painful thing for me to recognize, accept, and voice that world is not where I'm meant to be, you know? And it took a lot to get there because there was this mentality in my mind that was like, well, you're not going to be successful if you don't do this. You're not going to be accepted if you don't do that, you know? So anyways, I went off on a little tangent there. There you have it. I just love talking and teaching and sharing. Hope you don't mind. We're only at 7 minutes so far. This isn't going to be a very long video. We're halfway through the content already. Anyways, so the high heart part of it. So I was doing a reading with a client earlier this week, and we were doing some high heart work together, and it kind of just inspired me to post a video about high heart healing. And then when I tuned into what I should do, that's when the EFT came through. So I'm really excited to share it with you. I did it myself last night, and it was so powerful. I'm really, really excited to share it. So, did I cover everything? I didn't tell you about the high heart. Okay, so the high heart chakra is kind of like an extra one. We have 7 of them, 3 lower that keep us like anchored in the real world. Our heart chakra, which is the color green and is associated with love, heart. And then our top 3 are sort of like our connection to the spiritual realm. But we also have an 8th, which is thought to sit around where our thymus is. And this is the high heart. And this is a little bit different than the regular heart chakra. The regular heart chakra is our ability to love ourselves and pass love on to others and that kind of stuff. The high heart is really more our connection to the divine. There's no other way to put it. It is recognized, it's associated with the element of fire. And when I first started meditating on this last night, what came through is really, you know, if you were to Google high heart chakra, you would see that it says this is our connection to the divine, to higher consciousness, to compassion, to forgiveness, to unconditional love, all of those things that every school of thought, every religion, every group, when it comes to how the energy of the divine, universal life force, spirit, creator, it always comes back to those things. So as I was meditating on the nature of this and what to explain to people, something really beautiful came through, and that is that this is where our sacred heart sits. It's the element of fire, and the sacred heart is a heart that's on fire. This is the Holy Spirit. This is the burning bush. This is our connection to the divine, and it sits inside every single one of us. And that's so beautiful. Like, I could cry right now just thinking about that. So take that in. Like, really. I've really been in my mind right now so far. Taki, 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 laughy, laughy. Come into your center. Come into the present. Take some long, calming, deep breaths. Tune in to your body. Tune into your high heart. This point in your body that I just showed you is where your sacred fire sits. It's where your ability to tap into unconditional love, compassion, and forgiveness sit. Oh my gosh, I can like literally feel a fire at the top of my chest right now, at the bottom of my throat. It's really beautiful. This is how it should feel. Breathe into it. Allow it. Allow your body, allow this part of your body to feel what I just described, to feel love, to feel loved, to feel compassion for yourself and for all living things. Compassion for wherever you are at in life right now, today, Friday, November the 13th, 2020. It's been quite a year, hasn't it? We've been put through the ringer, all of us. I was having a great conversation with somebody recently, and we were saying, you know, it's like we've all been put through so much this year, and it's like we're siloed a bit, you know? Everyone has faced unique challenges, and we're all just kind of like cocooning, right? Are you okay over there? Love you. Hey, checking in. How you doing over there with your fire, your dumpster fire? You know, why did I think of that? We're all fighting our battle, and sometimes when we get caught up in stress or distracted by things that the media throws at us, we get thrown off balance and we forget that there is this divine light inside of us. So I'm going to ask you to tune into that and allow it to fill your body and calm your mind. It's all good, even when it doesn't feel good. We always return to goodness. That is the truth. Okay. So I want you, now that you've kind of like centered yourself and tapped into this fiery love that sits inside of you, I want you to bring to mind something in your life, a situation, a relationship, job, whatever, where you feel like you're being drained, where you feel like you're not being supported and you could use some more nurturing. And what we're going to do is we're going to tap into our access to the divine through our high heart, using high heart affirmations and tapping to invite a new way to look at our relationship with this thing that's draining us, if that makes sense. The affirmations will help it make more sense. Okay, so something that I learned last night about tapping is that you kind of have to like play around with what pressure feels right. And I did find that it does feel quite soothing. It's as soothing as having someone standing there rubbing your back, which is just, oh, the best. Thank you, mommy. So we're going to tap. First, we'll start with like the inside of our wrist. Try it out on your wrists and see what pressure you like. Next, you go to your outer corner, inner corner of your eyebrows, and then the outer corner, and then the bottom of your eyes, the top of the cheekbone. Then we're going to do under the nose and the chin. So we're going to go through that for each affirmation. I have 3 or 4 of them written down, and I'm going to be doing it with you as we go along. Okay, ready? Okay. I recognize that there is an issue in my life that's draining me. I recognize there's an issue in my life that is draining me. I recognize there's an issue in my life that's draining me. I recognize there is an issue in my life that's draining me. I recognize there's an issue in my life that is draining me. I recognize there's an issue in my life that is draining me. I recognize there's an issue in my life that is draining me. Top of the head. I recognize there's an issue in my life that is draining me. Next affirmation. I love and accept all parts of myself. Say it like you mean it. I love and accept all parts of myself. eyebrows. I love and accept all parts of myself. Outer corner of your eyes. I love and accept all parts of myself. 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 Next. I release any attraction, ties, or cords that keep me tied to these issues that drain me. I release any attraction, ties, or cords. What did I just say? That keep me repeating these patterns of these issues that drain me. I just made that up on the fly. Okay. I release ties, cords, and attractions to these issues that drain me. I release ties, cords, and attractions to these issues that drain me. I release ties, cords, and attractions to these issues that drain me. Oh, that one's good. Under the nose. I wonder what's there. I'll have to look that up later. I release ties, cords, and attractions to these issues that drain me. I release ties, cords, and attractions to these issues that drain me. I release ties, cords, and attractions to these issues that drain me. I call on Archangel Michael to help me release these ties. Archangel Michael, we call on you in this moment to help us release these ties to anything that is draining us. Archangel Michael, we call on you to help us release ties, energetic cords, and attractions to things that do not serve our highest good, to things that drain us, to things that do not nurture us. Thank you, Archangel Michael. We honor you, we see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Archangel Michael. Okay, next. I know the difference between what's good for me and what is not. I know the difference between what is good for me and what's not. I know the difference between what nourishes me and what drains me. I know the difference between what nourishes me and what drains me. I know the difference between what nourishes me and what drains me. I know the difference between what nourishes me and what drains me. I know the difference between what nourishes my spirit and what drains my spirit. I know the difference between what nourishes my spirit and what drains my spirit. Last one. I make the conscious choice to move towards what nourishes and supports me. I make the conscious choice to move towards what nourishes and supports me. I make the conscious choice to move towards what nourishes and supports me. I make the conscious choice to nourish myself. I make the conscious choice to nourish myself. I make the conscious choice to move toward what nourishes and supports me. I make the conscious choice to move toward what nourishes and supports me. I make the conscious choice to move towards what nourishes and supports me. I know in my heart what is best for me. This is the last one. I know in my heart what's best for me. My heart knows what is best for me. My spirit knows what is best for me. My heart knows what is best for me. My spirit knows what is best for me. Unconditional love, compassion, and forgiveness is what's best for me. Top of the head. Unconditional love, compassion, and forgiveness is what's best for me. Namaste, thank you. The divine in me acknowledges the divine in you. Thank you to all the angels, ancestors, and spirit guides that were here with us just now. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know. Have a great day. Happy Friday the 13th. Sending you so much love from my heart to yours.